Good morning, everyone. It's Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. And in today's video, we got a bunch of severe weather threats to talk about, and we even have some potential winter storms moving through the upper part of the Ohio Valley and into New England to talk about as well. We even have some heavy rain events occurring south of the upper Ohio Valley, which will be places like the lower Ohio Valley and into the deep south. Those areas will either experience severe storms or a heavy rain event, and we'll talk about that as we move through. But first of all, we're going to go ahead and show you guys the severe weather threats, and as you guys see, for day one, we got a pretty big area of, let's see, I'm sorry about that. We got a pretty big area of at least marginal risk for severe weather across portions of the deep south. This includes New Orleans, Mobile, getting into the Panama City area. This almost includes Tallahassee, but it doesn't though. But places like New Orleans and Mobile will have to be the most aware of this marginal risk today. And the only threats we have is pretty much a tornado and a hail threat. So main threats will be tornado and hail. So if you do live in those areas, I would definitely watch for a few tornadoes. And now for tomorrow's outlook, this heads for just Florida pretty much, no other areas than Florida. And as you guys see, the only threats we have is a tornado and wind threat, no other threats than a tornado and wind. So we'll have to watch those areas very closely for some possible tornadoes. But if you do live in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and even a few other cities in this area, I would definitely watch very closely for damaging winds, tornadoes, and maybe, just maybe, a few pieces of larger hail. But I don't think we're going to see any hail because, as you see, the hail threat is pretty much almost zero to me. So yeah, but now we're going to show you guys the next severe weather threat. These two that we're going to show you are going to be more significant. And so for day 4, which is going to be from Monday into Tuesday, we do have that slight risk across the deep south, and this includes places like Panama City Beach, getting into Houston, Texas, even Mobile, Alabama, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and even Victoria, Texas, over here across that area. So we will have to watch those areas very closely for some significant severe weather as we head into Monday. But look at the next outlook, guys, on day 5. Wow, guys, we got a very big area of a 15% chance, and they actually did extend this slight risk, by the way. It only included Florida and as well as Georgia, but now they have it extending into the Carolinas. So it sounds like we got a little bit more, like a better chance of severe weather across the Carolinas now. So I would definitely start watching the Carolinas now for severe weather as we head into Tuesday. So I would definitely be aware about this. But this includes places like Columbus, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, getting into Tampa, and as well as Jacksonville. So be aware if you do live in those cities. And that's pretty much all the outlooks we have. Besides, I just wanted to know on day 3, which is going to be from Sunday into Monday, we just got a bunch of general risks for thunderstorms, just in case you were wondering why I skipped day 3. And that's pretty much why I skipped it, was because there was no severe weather threat at all. Okay, so now we're gonna look at your excessive rainfall outlook, and for day 1, we actually do have a marginal risk for flash flooding across portions of the south. This heads from Friday into Saturday, and as you guys see, that is pretty much for today. And as you guys see, it heads from Houston, Texas, getting into Baton Rouge, Louisiana, heading into New Orleans, and then back through Tallahassee, Florida. So I would definitely watch these areas very closely for at least a few tornadoes, like I said, during that day 1 outlook, which mainly included this area down here. So watch for a few tornadoes and as well as flash flooding. Not significant flooding, but at least some minor flooding in some areas will be possible, so be aware about that. And I actually do want to show you guys that, and I probably would have forgot about this, but on day 2, we do have a marginal risk across the East Coast. On day 3, we got zero flash flood threat. On day 4, we do have that slight risk for flash flooding across the deep south, heading all the way up into Indiana. At least the marginal risk does. The slight risk mainly stays in the deep south, and then we got that marginal risk heading into southwest Indiana, like I said. And then on day 5, that shifts off to the east, and this includes the western Carolinas heading into Georgia. Or it actually does kind of include some of Georgia, by the way, but also mainly heads into Virginia. And then up here to the north, we do have another slight risk for flash flooding across New York, Hartford, and as well as Philadelphia, so I would be aware. And now we're going to show you guys the radar now, and as you guys see, we will start to see a round of possible snow and rain move across the Ohio Valley as we head into most likely today, it sounds like, or Saturday, either one, but we'll see a storm system move through these areas that will bring a chance for some heavy rain and snowfall in the weekend. And as you guys see, that will head out quickly, and it will bring kind of a winter storm potential to cross to parts of New England and as well as the mid-Atlantic. And then this next one that moves through, this will bring a rain and as well as snow threat to parts of the Ohio Valley. And then as that finally heads out, then we'll have to watch another system move through, which will bring more in the way of significant storms. So we'll have to watch that one closely as well. And then this next one that moves through, this will also have to be watched. So lots of storm systems to watch, keep an eye on, and be aware about. So I would definitely watch all of those storm systems closely, okay? And now we're going to show you guys the total precipitation, and as you guys see, we are seeing a pretty good amount of precipitation across the northwest United States and as well as the eastern United States. This will be anywhere from about, I would probably say anywhere from at least 2 to even 5 inches of rain in some areas. Lots of areas only getting at least 1.5 inches, but some areas could get as high as 2 inches. So we'll have to watch a lot of those areas very closely for at least some above average precipitation. But I think down here to the south, we'll see the most significant flash flooding. We can't rule out a few flash flood threats up to the north, like that marginal risk on day 4, like what I was talking about. That did include parts of southwest Indiana, and so I would definitely watch for just some minor flash flooding. We can't rule out at least up to 5 inches in some isolated areas, like up here to the north. Look at that, northwest Ohio seeing about 3 inches of rainfall, so that will be pretty significant for them. So we'll have to watch more than just the south, okay? So I would definitely be aware about that. And now your total snowfall, looking also kind of significant too, especially for the mountains out west, like the Cascade and as well as the Sierra Nevadas. I'm not really sure how to say that, but it at least includes the California mountains, okay? And then back over here to the east, we are seeing a pretty good swath of snowfall coming down, and as you see, this includes places like the upper Ohio Valley and as well as New England. So we'll have to watch for some significant snowfall there too as well, and I would definitely also watch for some potential winter storms across these areas as well, and that's the reason why we're seeing at least 2 feet of snow up here into parts of Michigan. And now we're going to start you guys off with the GFS model now, and as we continue to take this forward, we'll start off with a pretty good rain and as well as snowstorm across parts of the Ohio Valley, and then we'll continue to pretty much move across New England and as well as the mid-Atlantic, and then we'll see another round move through. And just look at this one. This brings more of a winter storm potential to part of Indiana. Pretty much this area right here will have the best chance for a winter storm potential. So we'll have to watch those areas very closely, and then as we continue to take that forward, that will continue moving through, and then we'll have to watch this area right here as well, at least this part of the storm right here. because we are seeing some pretty heavy snow across parts of northwest Indiana, getting into Illinois. We can't rule out some heavy snow for southwest Indiana. At least that will be something to keep an eye on. And then it heads back down into parts of Tennessee, so that will be one of our storms that we got to watch very closely. And so that will definitely be kind of a alerting thing to talk about. But as we continue to take that forward, that will head out, and then we see another system move through that will bring a winter storm potential across parts of these areas right here. This will bring pretty much a winter storm potential. I probably should write WP for winter storm potential on the other ones that move through, but it's still pretty likely that we'll see winter storm potential with almost every storm that really moves through these areas. And then as that finally heads out, then we'll have to start watching this one, and then we'll have to start watching more rounds of snow and as well as freezing rain like this one right here. And now I wanted to show you guys that we are seeing some pretty good freezing rainfall totals, and we're only heading 2 hours out, by the way, which heads till January 13th, which is pretty much only a week out, okay? Pretty much only a week out, or even a little bit more than a week out. So anywhere from a week to a week and a day out is when we can expect at least an inch of freezing rain across part of Virginia and as well as the western part of the Carolinas. We probably should be taking a look at more models, but this at least gives us a good idea on what areas could see some freezing rain. And as you guys can also see, some of these areas even experience over a half an inch of freezing rain too as well. This isn't just the total for the day, this is the total from now to January 13th, just in case you forgot. But if you already knew that, that's great. And as you guys see, we see another area to watch for freezing rain too as well. So I mean, pretty significant actually, by the way. Not a very big area, more like scattered, okay? It's not necessarily isolated, but it's more scattered, just a scattered area of a possible inch or two of freezing rain, while we are seeing kind of that across the New England and as well as Mid-Atlantic area. So that will also have to be an area we watch very closely too as well, so make sure to keep that in mind. And now we're going to show you guys the total snowfall with the GFS, and as you see, this is anywhere from now to January 13th, and as you guys see, we are seeing some pretty good snowfall across the mountain areas of the northwest United States, like the Cascade Mountains, heading into the California mountains, and then we are even seeing a ton of snowfall out here in parts of New England. Just look at that, guys. Wow, look at that. Big area of snowfall, by the way. Just look at all that crazy heavy snowfall across that area. So heavy snowfall is what we can expect for these areas right here. Just some very heavy snowfall being a possibility across all of these areas, so make sure to keep that in mind if you do live in this black area. And I mean, we could even see some snowfall farther down south. Could just look, a few dots like this one right here, this area right here could even get some snow flurries too as well, so that will be another thing to keep an eye on too. And we also can't rule out some for southwest Indiana or even the very southern part of Indiana too as well. So we'll have to watch a lot of those areas closely. But last but not least, we will take a look at your precipitation totals with the GFS model, and this heads the same path out, so anywhere from now to January 13th. And as you guys see, we are seeing some pretty good rainfall across the northwest, some pretty good rainfall across the eastern United States, so I would definitely watch those areas very closely for some heavy rainfall, so definitely be aware about that if you do live in those areas. So I would definitely watch those areas very closely. But thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. We will continue to keep you guys updated on these storm systems that move through, but I also hope you guys are all having a great 2024 so far. And what I mean by that is I hope you guys are enjoying the year 2024 so far. So that would definitely be something to let me know down in the comments if you guys want, or you can even leave comments. I actually haven't gotten comments from any of you guys for quite a while, so if you guys want to leave comments about how you're enjoying stuff or even how you're enjoying the weather, you guys can do that. But thank you guys very much for watching. watching, and please subscribe.